right, what's up, everybody? Let me see. It is Saturday, July 11th, about 4:03 p.m. I am on my way back to the base, but get some of this New York view. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So this one, I mean, I'll probably talk about Target a little bit, but I'm just gonna vent just a little bit, But what I really want to do is I want to see how many people this makes sense to, right? Now, I'm gonna say this, right? I don't. If I ever talk about people, I don't mention specifics about people. If I talk about people and I mention their name, it's usually always in a good light. I would never record myself talking bad about a specific person. That's one. Two, it's like I know and understand the type of person that I am. I'm 37 years old. I mean, like, I've done so much self-reflecting and what's the words I'm looking for? So much I don't know, maybe you could call it energy work. I've done a lot of internal work on myself, understanding the different aspects of myself, what makes me me, and several other things. I love New York City sometimes. Anyway, yo, summertime in New York City, distractions everywhere. Anyway, yeah, I got distracted. Where was I? Oh, right. So, right, I don't, and that's another thing. I don't really gossip about people. That's something I never really got into. Because it's strange, because it's like, to me, I feel like we all kind of know what it feels like when we have a feeling someone could be talking about you. Even if you're not around the person, you might actually get a feeling that someone is talking about you. Right? So, now Pete, I've been working with my company for five plus years. Yeah, like 5 years, going into 7 months, something like that. And look, I done did so many different things with this. I mean, matter of fact, I've been making these videos for as long as I've been with the company. I just thought about that. I just realized I've been making these videos for as long as I've been working at the company. So even more so, like I mentioned in my videos, my targeting started before my electronic harassment, because, you know, the V2K like to say, you're not even a real target, you target practice. But it's like the V2K say stuff like, you know, you wasn't even supposed to be delivering packages. You were supposed to become a police officer. Now, mind you, that was one of the first things I used to hear people say quite often when I got this job back in February of 2021, right? Now, February of 2021, remember, we're still in COVID at the time, right? We're still in COVID at the time. This is COVID quarantine. We were considered essential workers. Back then, we didn't even, I mean, y'all remember the videos. Those of you who remember from the beginning, I was walking. We were walking these routes. Like, we were on foot, walking cases of water, heavy groceries. Back then, they were in boxes. They weren't in bags. You know, and we were walking miles. I mean, miles. Like, I don't even know if you could actually, I don't know if you would want to, but if you want to look up the distance, you could type in, you could go to like Google Maps or something, and then type in what was the address over there? It was like Franklin. I'm trying to remember what was the address over there. Dang, I'm trying to remember an address that was over there. It was like Franklin Street and West Broadway. Anyway, yeah, just put in Franklin Street and West Broadway, right? Now it's gonna pull you to the corner. Once you do that, type in for destination and make sure you put it as walking. Type in destination, let's say 510, I think like 510, go ahead. Like 510 Grand Street, right? I think that's the, no, even better, type in like I think it's like 595 FDR Drive, right? Look at that distance, right? Now, mind you, I'm not necessarily complaining because I did the job. I mean, I'm still here. So, I'm not necessarily complaining. I just want people to understand something because I'm doing this for a reason, right? Look at the distance that we walk. Now, quite often, people would have to make that type of trip multiple times in a day, walking, right? Now, once we got the bikes, I mean, y'all saw when we eventually got the bikes, and I had we got one version of a bike. It was slower than the green ones we upgraded to. I know y'all seen that update when we got the new bikes. But yeah, so it's like I done worked with this company through different phases. Let me see. Yeah, they're messing with my train of thought and my memory, so they don't want me to remember certain things for some reason, or they don't want me to say something. Whatever it is, there's a whole lot of pressure. It's like out of nowhere, I started feeling all this pressure right in the temple, the right temple, and then a lot of pressure build up here, and the frontal. I think they call it frontal temporal or prefrontal cortex, frontal lobes. Yeah, I just started feeling a whole lot of pressure there, so I started to forget what I was about to say. Why are you going so fast, honey? Anyway, so this is Central Park, so y'all know. But anyway, so yeah, and I mean, I work through all types of weather, rain, sleet, snow, came to work right before blizzard started, during the blizzard, then almost couldn't make it home. You know, I done did all kinds, man, I try to do my best to take people's groceries up steps, even if it's the 5th or 6th floor. Most of the time, I'm not going to say all the time, but most of the time. And, you know, for the most part, I do it for the customers, right? The reason I don't necessarily think about it as, always as, you know, I'm going to take it upstairs because I may get a tip. No, I think that I have the potential to make a tip on every delivery. Every delivery. That's the point. It's like you have a potential to make a tip on every delivery. And then on top of that, even if someone doesn't tip, I'm not upset that they don't tip. Some people just don't have it. Or some people just don't tip. Whatever the case. I can't complain about that. But what I do is, because what I've learned since being with this company for so long, is the more deliveries you do, the more you increase your tip earning. The more deliveries you do, the more you increase your tip earnings, right? And that has been like a golden rule with just about any delivery job. Any delivery job that has tips involved, the more deliveries you do, the more money you'll make in your tips, right? Now, I told you I'm not gonna really make this about gang talk, but I mean I could talk about some of that, but I'm venting a little bit because I'm frustrated, and then it's like I don't like certain things, and I'm not a confrontational person, but if I choose to be confrontational, I'm going to be precise. Now, I don't like certain things. For one, okay, I don't like secrecy. I don't like secrets. I don't even like when people even look like they could be talking about something secretive and then they look in my direction. I don't even like when people try to tell me a secret. And it's not that I'm gonna go around and tell people, it's I don't want to hold on to something that you don't want nobody to know. Because my thing is, it's like now you're trying to put that energy on me. Because you know every time you have secrets, you're actually storing energy inside of you. You're storing energy. You're holding on to energy, right? So I don't have a lot of secrets. Especially now that I'm being targeted, I can't even really afford to have secrets because whatever type of secret I could possibly have, they gonna probably have some flying monkeys out there spreading the information around. So it's like, yeah, I don't really have secrets. If anything, I just have things I have done and I just haven't told that person. Most things that I do, I probably don't mind telling somebody that I did it, you know. But anyway, what I'm getting to is the idea that I feel like not only are we being taken advantage of, because I've kind of already noticed that for some time with the company that they could possibly be taking advantage of people, but I'm not necessarily gonna hang on that part, right? I'm not gonna hang on that part. What I'm gonna hang on though is I've been noticing it for maybe, let me see, this is July. I feel like I might have first noticed something in the Amazon Flex app, right? So the company I work for is a third-party partner with Amazon. So Amazon basically has the orders, the supply, and they pay my job to supply drivers or delivery DAs to deliver their orders. They're driving so slow. Anyway, so Amazon pays the company I work for to pay us. Now, I'm already aware that the company I work for, they get like a certain portion of something, and then like we get like the rest of whatever. Like, let's say I don't really know how to explain it, but from what I hear, let's say I believe like if someone were to be an Amazon Flex driver with Amazon themselves, I think they make like 20 something an hour. I forgot. I think it's like 21, 22 hour, something like that, right? Then what my company does, they get, instead of paying us the 20 something because they're Amazon's contracting out to them, we'll get like, well, right now we're getting 17. So me, I'm not stressing over the hourly because I know that this is a tipped wage job, right? So I know, okay, all I gotta do is get my tip money up, and boom, I'm like, yo, for the first, 4 or 5 years or so, I never really had no problem, because I know that if I put in the work, regardless of how many people who don't tip, I do enough deliveries that there's so many more people who can tip me that I'm not worried about those people who don't tip, right? Here's the problem that's been happening, I want to say, since I don't even know if it started since January, but I didn't really notice this weird thing happening until about maybe 2-3 months ago. And I'll probably put up like a screen. I'll put up a couple of pictures too. Maybe, yeah, like right here. Anyway, this is 15 minutes. Actually, I'll just do this. Okay, yeah. So what I've been noticing, and what a lot of people have been noticing too, and especially the actual drivers, like people who drive, they've been noticing that, let's say, when we receive our route, right? It tells us how many packages. It tells us how many packages. What the heck is happening? He got me. Oh, he's changing his mind. Is he changing his mind? Caught me all in the middle of the street. Anyway, oh man, he really trying to. Nah, I don't know why he thought he was gonna fit down that damn street. That big ass truck all up in the way, trying to fit in between. It's a one-way street, and it's already a UPS truck that's double parked, right? So now this big ass moving truck, whatever it is going to try to go down the one way. Seeing the UPS truck is already there. I'm like, anyway, I wish I had the camera facing that way so y'all could have seen that bullshit. But anyway, so let's say, yeah, Amazon Flex app, it shows you how many packages that you have to scan to pick up, and it'll tell you how many stops, meaning deliveries, how many deliveries you have to do, right? About, let me see, I want to say about 3 weeks ago, this is when I really started to take notice, right? So one day, I get a route for the 2 to 4 p.m. window, and it's 19 stops. 19 stops. I don't remember how many. I think it was like 53 or 57 packages or something. I think it was like 53 packages, right? 19 stops. Now, I go in, I do all the stops. I finish the last stop by 4:17 p.m. I was late on that one, but I think I got the route late too. But anyway, so now, when I finish my last stop, normally on the app, it shows you a list, your itinerary. It shows you exactly how many completed deliveries that you did. I mean, completed being that you have successfully delivered it and there was like there was no issues or whatever. I had got 19 stops, 19 stops. That means 19 potential customers who could be tipping, right? Then all of a sudden, when I go to check the itinerary after I finish the stops, it doesn't show 19. It shows 9. So I'm like, what the hell is this? So I'm kind of bugged out. So I'm like, wait, what the hell happened to my stop? And by this time that I'm really noticing it, I've noticed it already before, but I just thought maybe it's just like a glitch or something like that. What really started to make me look at things was when I started noticing my checks keep looking smaller and smaller, but I'm still delivering so many stops per day. Now this is an 8-hour shift, and you get 4 windows. You know, and your windows can have anywhere between 1 to 20 stops. You know. So it's like, yeah, you can get anywhere from 1 to 20 something stops, right? Now, I'm like, okay, I see only 9. Ooh, what was that smell? It's strong too. Oh, Man, that's the thing about New York. It's like you be going down one street and you're like, oh, it smells good down there. Then you turn the corner and you're like, damn, what the fuck is that? Yo, but anyway, so I look at the itinerary. I'm like, yo, I know I just did 19 deliveries, but why is it only showing that I completed 9? So I decided to when I get back to the base, I asked my dispatcher, I'm like, yo, let me see the system. I want to see how many completed deliveries that it has that I did, right? Our system shows that I completed 19 deliveries. So I'm like, okay, bet. I took a picture. Because I said, I'm gonna get ready for this one. I took a picture. And then I called Amazon Flex, right? I called Amazon Flex driver support. And I'm glad they record their phone conversations, because when them emails, let me not skip anything. I called driver support, right? And I called, oh shit, yo, hold up. Damn, I forgot his name. Oh, fuck. I know that dude. Damn, I forgot his name. Anyway, I forgot his name. Damn. Damn, he used to work for the company, I think. Yeah, he sure did, because I remember he said he lived in Harlem. But anyway, so I called Amazon Flex driver support, right? And I called him and I'm like, yeah, I'm noticing, and I said the word glitch, right? Because I'm right now, I don't know what it is. I'm calling it a glitch. So I called them and I'm like, yeah, I just completed a route of 19 deliveries, and I want to confirm how many completed deliveries do they have in their system. And no, go ahead. So I'm like, I'm waiting for her, and okay, yeah, I'm not gonna get into all that stuff about demographics and whatever. But anyway, so she's like, well, I see that you have 9. I'm like, 9? Now, I ain't gonna lie to you, there's a whole lot of people that would have a totally different reaction to what I'm experiencing, right? Because, and I know there's a lot of people that would turn up, that would turn way the hell up, because that's 10 deliveries that Amazon just told me I did not do. Yet they sent me a route with 19 stops. The customers know my name when I deliver. When they call my phone to let me know if they're running late or something. So it's like, okay. So I asked Amazon Flex, I said, so what happened to the other 10 deliveries? And then she's like, I don't know, I only have 9. And I'm like, fuck you mean you only got 9? I just did 19. Where's the rest of the deliveries at? So I said, you know what, I ain't gonna trip. I said, okay, so I really gotta start watching this shit, right? I really gotta start watching this. Now, yo, I kid you not, the next route, let me see, I don't think I had got did I get the 4 to 6? I think I did get a 4 to 6. So the next route I do, or I received, it was, I think it was nine stops in total. It was like 9 deliveries in total. I completed it, and all of a sudden it shows that I only completed 7. So I'm like, wait, what the fuck is happening, right? So I'm like, okay, now this is something I have to start paying attention to. Every shift, it's not happening every window. That's what I'm realizing. It's not happening every window, but it happens every day that I come to work, that all of a sudden, when I complete my deliveries, all of a sudden I'm missing stops, or the whole route, like the whole route I just delivered just disappears off my itinerary. And then when I look at my checks and my tip breakdown, because they send us a tip breakdown. Like before we receive our checks, we get an email, and on our app it shows us how much we make in tips for each stop, the day. It shows the day, and then it shows each stop that was done and how much that person tipped or did not tip. Now, like I told you, I do more than enough deliveries a shift that I'm not even worried about. I'm not even really worried about someone not tipping. But it's the idea that when I do 19 stops and I look at my tip breakdown at the end of the week, I want to see 19 deliveries or however many deliveries I did for that day. But why is it that when I check my tip breakdown, I'm missing so many deliveries? Like, I'm missing so many stops. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, it can't be my company, because they actually have the records of every delivery that we do. So why is Amazon's records not reflecting? Because Amazon's records is the one that's showing our tips. So I'm like, wait. I had to start asking around. I started asking around, and then you know what? Boom, I find out there's several other people who are experiencing some of the same things. Now the drivers are even more mad, because because they have cars, they take way more deliveries and way more stops than people on bikes do, and because they have more space to fit in there. So when a driver's like, yo, I did 80 something deliveries in one day, so I should see 80 something different deliveries on my tip breakdown for that day. But then when they look at their tip breakdown, they see 50 something or 40 something deliveries, and they're like, ain't no way. They're like, what happened? And I'm like, exactly. So boom, now I say, okay, I've been going to each dispatcher and asking them about the whole tip thing. None of them telling me nothing. Now, I'm not mad at them, because at least their system shows that we're making our deliveries. But people are getting upset because, well, they feel like, wait, so y'all want us to keep busting our ass, but y'all ain't gonna tell us nothing, or y'all not gonna find out from Amazon what's happening? Like I said, man, I'm not a confrontational person, but when certain things just don't sit right, certain things just don't sit right. It's like, yo, I put way, and I'm being targeted too, so it's like I put way too much energy into this job just for someone to just be like thinking they just gonna sneak cut my legs from under me. It's like, I already know they getting over on so many other things. But my tips, that's mine, right? So it's like, okay, I don't know what Amazon is doing, but what I'm gonna do is I did some research, and I found out that it was less than 4 years ago. Matter of fact, it was about 4 years ago. It was 2022 in Washington D.C. There was a lawsuit settled. That was spearheaded by the Attorney General of the Washington, D.C., District of Columbia, who basically won a suit against Amazon for stealing tips from their delivery drivers, right? And they got 3.2 mil, right? Now, I've been trying to look for the case itself so I can read the details on it, because from what I read, the little bit I did read, I read that basically they were redistributing the tips from earned by drivers and redistributing it to pay for other costs that Amazon have or whatever. V2K is trying to tell me I'm making a terrible decision, because they're like, oh, you snitching on people. And I'm like, don't they do the same shit? Even worse, they set people up who didn't actually create the crime. So that's even worse. Anyway, so I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yo, there's no way I'm going to keep working here and not get a response about why am I working this hard and I'm not seeing all my deliveries accounted for. I said, no, there's certain things that I cannot let slide. Like, there's certain things I have to be confrontational about, right? So, boom. I decide, once I read that part about what happened in DC, I said, okay. So I put in a complaint with the New York State Attorney General. Well, first, before I did that, I sent an email. I sent a formal email explaining exactly what's happening to, first I sent it to regular Amazon support or regular Amazon help, whatever team. Then they said, oh, you have to email. I had emailed it from like my regular email address. Then they was like, oh, well, you got to email us from the email address associated with your account. And I'm like, okay. So boom, I log into the company email and I email Amazon from there. Then they gonna tell me, oh, for this specific thing, you need to actually contact driver support. And I'm like, that's the first thing I did, and they told me they don't know what's happening. So I said, okay, so they gonna play games. So I said, all right, bet. So I decided to put in a complaint with the New York State Attorney General. Now, I do eventually end up speaking to one of them, but they tell me that there's only but so much they can do unless I were to get more people, to call and speak up on it. So, that's what I'm slowly pushing myself to do, because at some point, of course, with Targeted, I'm still, you still working your way through the trust layers and stuff like that. But I figure everybody don't want to be stolen from. So, but the other part is, it's like a lot of people feel like they could. I feel like a lot of people think that if I start telling them about Attorney General or whatever, they gonna start thinking to themselves, oh, you trying to snitch on a company. Oh, you snitching. I'm like, motherfucker, somebody's taking money from you and you talking about snitching? That's my whole thing, and it's like, remember, this is business, this is corporate. You can't use a street mentality with this. You gotta come about this a totally different way. So yeah, that's what I'm dealing with. And I'm like, I'm trying to move. I've been trying to get money together and save, and it's hard to save because I've been dealing with these neural impulses, and that's one thing that the gang stalkers are good at, is creating the stimuli that makes you want something even if you probably don't actually need it. Then when you finally get it and start to use it, you realize, I actually probably don't really want this. And I noticed this from time to time. Like, a lot of times we find ourselves having the urge to want something or the impulse to want something, and then all of a sudden when we get it, it's just like, it's not as good as I thought it would be. Yeah. So it's like, dang, I forgot. That train of thought was going somewhere, but I kept feeling like this pressure build up, like right here, and all of a sudden I just lost the whole train of thought. Matter of fact, as I'm saying this, right? So you see where this part of my hand is? There is a pressurized ultrasound wave pushing right into my hand right here. But it's going through the hand, going right into my prefrontal. And as I move my hand back and forth, I can feel it still going in a straight line, and my hand passes through. How far it extends out, I'm not entirely sure. But it seems like as I stretch my hand out, it comes out, and then it seems like it kind of goes up. More than likely, it's probably going up to a satellite somewhere, because I don't think there's any cell towers on that building, but it's probably going up to a satellite or something. But because all this stuff is data going to a cloud server somewhere. But anyway, so yeah, I get to actually speak to the attorney, like at least not the attorney general herself. She's a busy woman, but I got to speak to someone in her office, and yeah, she's just urging me to just get more people involved because the office probably won't get involved if it's just me. So I'm like, okay, so I feel like if I can't rally them, or people might get too afraid because they feel like the job might retaliate against them, even though that would be discrimination, and that would be really easy. That would be an easy lawsuit, because how you gonna fire somebody because they're complaining that you're not being transparent with them about the operations? Because when you get hired, you're told that you have a potential to make a tip on each and every delivery that you do. The potential to make a tip on each delivery that you do. So it doesn't make sense that why for several weeks and possibly for months, people have been noticing that deliveries disappear. I mean, just straight up disappear out of the system. I don't know how my company maintains the records, but then somehow Amazon doesn't have the records. So I don't know. I'm not saying anything, but I'm just saying this is something that has to be fixed. If it's a glitch, okay, they need to find the glitch, fix it, and then reimburse everybody with everything that they were supposed to get. Because now I'm also thinking too, it's not just that we didn't get tips or we're missing out on our deliveries. If the customers themselves possibly tip, their money is being stolen because they intentionally gave money to come to us. If that money doesn't come to us, then that means that money is being stolen. So, I don't know. Now, V2K, they trying to tell me that, like, oh, your resources are so limited. Oh, you shouldn't do this, da da da. Basically trying to make me fear the idea of, like, you know, possibly getting fired or something like that. I did run a test though. I ran a test, and I put in an application for like FedEx, and I actually got a call, and I was like, oh snap, they actually called me. So I was surprised that I actually got the call, but I didn't set up the interview, set up for an interview because, well, for lack of better words, I got some detoxing to do. But yeah, so yeah, so I'm just like realizing that, yo, I use way too much energy at this job to not get all the money that I'm supposed to be getting. And then get this, I worked 38 hours last week. And I only had got $201 in tips. I was like, impossible. Someone like me that does the volume that I do should never, ever work 5 days and only make just $200 in tips. No. And then crazy part is I go to one of my coworkers who I know his workload, and I go to him and I ask him if I could see, like, you know, his what's a pay stub and everything, and he shows me that he worked like 2 more hours than I did, so he got some overtime, but he worked just 2 more hours than me, but he got like $120 something more than I did, and I was like, ain't no way. I was like, okay, so something very, very weird is going on, and nobody's saying anything. So now we got my coworkers. We all kind of like, yo, what is happening? None of this is making sense. So I'm like, okay, I'm the only one that's probably contacting the Attorney General. So I was like, you know what? Then I just also seen I also seen that our mayor also has been busy trying to since January has been getting money back for employees who probably have been getting taken who have been getting taken advantage by their employer. Supposedly he got back like $10 million for employees throughout the city who've been getting taken advantage of. So I'm like, okay, so now that means I gotta write a letter there. Now some people say, Chris, you're making a horrible decision by making these videos. You're letting people know your moves. Look, man, by the will of God, I'm going to state these things out loud because we've already been voicing these things. We've already been voicing our concerns, and concern is turning into anger. Now, like I said, I'm being targeted, so I already know my limitations. I already know certain things I can't do that certain people probably can do. So I'm just in my mind thinking like, okay, I'm willing to take whatever hit that I need to take just so I can get a response and some understanding and clarity as to what is happening. Because I work too hard and I use too much energy just to not be at least told, okay, there's some promotional work that's happening and some customers are getting things for free. We supposed to be informed something like that but it still doesn't make sense though, because it should at least be documented in the tip breakdown, and then it should show whether it's a zero or they tipped $1 or anything. Because even the deliveries that we do and then the customer don't tip, we see the zero. So anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna have to, that's my little legal thing that I'm gonna have to work on. I know a lot of TIs are working on other legal stuff, but I was like, yeah, nah, I'm gonna work on this work thing. But aside from that, let me just get into some of this electronic harassment stuff and nanotechnology stuff. All right, so real quick, I want y'all to, I'm going to try to see if I could get y'all to visualize something, right? Now, oh wait, this ain't mine. I was like, I'm at the wrong one. Yeah, look at it. Hold on, I was like, yeah. So, yeah, this is what I'm riding these days now. Spacious though, but it only goes about 12 miles an hour. But I love it though. I love it. I just wish it goes a little bit faster. But anyway, so now the aura, right? The human biofield basically goes around the entire body. Think of like a circle, right? And it kind of actually loops up and comes back up like this, and then goes out like this, right? So you have a whole like field around your body. What the nanosensors that's dispersed around the entire globe does, right? It's like, what do they do? Move up so they, oh no, because the light turned green. Anyway, basically what the nanosensors do, since it's dispersed throughout the entire earth, you can't see it, but it's basically like an invisible smog. It's like, imagine having all these tiny metal irradiated particles filling this space. Like, even though you can't see your auric energy field and your aura or whatever, even though you can't see it, it's there. Now all these particles are filling in your space. The best way you can even tell that you have these particles all around your body is a lot of times when you move your hands around, especially palms facing out. When you move your hands around and you feel like all these little prickly, spiky things, almost like imagine like if someone threw sand at your hand and you felt all the little grains of sand hit your hand. Yes, you are actually feeling all of those sensors that are being irradiated because of satellites and cell towers that's beaming down on the earth. They're irradiating all of these particles, and all of these particles, we're breathing it in, we're drinking it, we're eating it. It's in our hair. That's one of the reasons why a lot of us are losing our hair. Hair's getting so dry because all of these nanoparticles are being irradiated, and as they're being irradiated, they're also being steered using an electromagnetic wave, steered into the body, into different parts of the body. And once they find their place of where they want to be, they set up camp. They position themselves next to neurons, they set themselves up in their tissues and tendons, wherever they can get energy from, whether it's through friction, heat, chemical, whatever it is. Now, this field, right? Remember, it's a big circle around you, right? Telemetry. Telemetry basically getting from one point to another point, to another point, to another point, another point, another point, another point. Now, that's literally, when you think about how, like, it's like, imagine connect the dot, right? It's like connect the dot. But that line is actually a closed loop. So it's not just a straight line, but it's like, it's a loop. It's a loop. So it's like, when you're getting stimulation to your head and everything, it's not just energy coming in. There's also energy going out. And that energy is like, well, basically the information about your body that's been converted into, I guess, coded into code. And then it's sent back out where AI is decoding all that information and it's learning everything about your body, your mind, how you think, everything about you, right? Including your sperm count, your blood pressure, all that stuff, right? It's all a part of the. I just felt the what they call it. I felt the pulse hit my head, and I got kind of like, oh ma, yeah, and I got kind of woozy for a second. But yeah, so it's like you have all these particles around your body, and it's like connecting a dot. Pew, 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 pew. Now, the other thing that you want to remember is that you have energy centers or nerve bundles, areas around your body where there's a densely packed area of nerves, which means there's a crazy amount of energy there. Root chakra. Let me see. Yeah, root chakra. Then you got what is that? It's like root chakra. I can't even remember. I forgot the other one. Then you got solar plexus. Then you got the heart chakra, throat, pineal gland, and then you got your crown, right? The sensors are filling all of these areas, right? More times than likely, when you feel nausea, they're attacking the solar plexus. And more times than likely, the signal or the wave is, what up? The signal or the wave is usually coming in from the sides. Now, one thing I also learned is that because it's a bubble and we're talking about telemetry, you can move, and I always say use your palm side. You can move your hands around and you can actually feel I learned to build the sensitivity to be able to notice it. But when I move my hand around, I could literally feel all the different waves that's connected to my body, because it's energy coming to me, but it's also energy going out in the same direction. It's a loop. But everything I'm going to show you right now, I'm going to tell you right now, I figured out so much. I've been using mass loaded vinyl in various ways. Before I said I couldn't use caps because of the metal on the caps, but since I've been using mass loaded vinyl, it helps. But I'm also going to say this part too. The prefrontal cortex, this pretty much like, I think like this area, like right here, prefrontal cortex, right? Especially the right side. I have found that a majority of basically all data or all commands given to the nodes to the rest of the body comes here first. Then it's then it's like I guess converted or trans yeah, it's converted from computer code into electrical stimulation, or it's converted into like an electrical stimulation or electricity, I guess. And then they can take that energy or that information like a message to the rest of the body, and then it kind of like it's like let's say, matter of fact, all right, I'll say my left testicle. They've been attacking that. They've been attacking my left testicle for God knows how long. But anyway, it wasn't until after a while I realized that when I would move my hand here, right? Now I'm to the side. When I move my hand here, I could feel something going in like it's not a straight line, but there's something coming in from the side and it's going to the left testicle. But it loops around. It loops around and it feels like it's connected to other parts too. Like I feel, so it's like I feel some of it coming from maybe a node that's in my left hip. Now my left hip is feeling very stimulated too. Now, mind you, what I feel in my left hip is also connected to what's happening in my left elbow. Remember what I said, telemetry, point, well, probably go down, maybe point. But it works like a cascade. It's because there's so many different nodes all throughout the body. It just passes from one node to the next until it gets to the area where it needs to be, and then it increases the amount of energy in that area, and that's where the pain starts. Now, let me see. I've been on this thing for too long. Let me go ahead, but I just wanted to rant a little bit and then tell you what I figured. Oh, right. Before I forget, that part right there, I learned that if you actually focus more on covering this specific region, I'm not going to say it's going to entirely block everything, but if you find the right combination of materials, you could possibly reduce a lot of the attacks against your body dramatically. Mass loaded vinyl, and I've read that if you pair it with some other type of conductive material like copper or something, but you're going to need to ground it, because it said mass loaded vinyl doesn't completely block electromagnetic waves, but it blocks sound waves. So in essence, you'll be able to block the ultrasound, but not the electromagnetic waves. You're not going to be able to block the radio frequency. You might be able to dull it a little bit, but it won't be blocked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to see if I can create something where I could, hell, if I could, maybe I could get a hat like this, line the inside of it with MLV, and then maybe put like copper sheets or something inside, and try to find a way to ground it remotely. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I see the truck is here for my next route, and yeah, hopefully I can get to the bottom of all this for all of us, because I mean, I work way too hard just to be really slaving myself. I mean, it's already bad enough my mother think I'm slaving myself for this company now, but yeah, it's gonna be real bad if we all just still working and they stealing from us. Well, I can't say nobody's stealing it. That hasn't been proven yet. But yeah, this whatever's happening, something gotta get figured out. My coworker he's like, you gonna keep taking 2 routes? I said, I don't know anymore, bro. I don't know. Anyway, take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace.